ask me about something.
Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Ashfaq.
Yes, please.
Well, yeah, guys, thanks for joining. Let's get started then, right? Okay, everybody's ready?
Yes, please proceed.
Okay, cool. So yeah, Ashfaq, as I wrote in LinkedIn, the issue is we want to move on, move further with this, you know, I wouldn't say it's product, it's just a prototype, how to resolve this issue with credit limits for merchants, Amazon merchants, wholesalers who want to buy from European Union, or even extended option to buy in any like third-party country. Maybe also including credit limits management inside the US. So we want to narrow down this problem space down to credit limit management. So today we want to discuss two things. First, well, let me turn on the camera so that just show myself. Today we want to discuss two things. First of all, we want to understand a bit deeper this credit limit management need. I mean, we didn't really get why some options that are in the market don't work in this case, because we talked to few participants in similar transactions between Europe and US, and they claim that there are like other options, other tools that could be used to get same result as you need, let's say. So I want to ask you, did you maybe use that options, and why it didn't work, or maybe you just didn't use, or there is like some constraints we don't know. So that's first part, just to understand if this problem with the credit limit management exists in broad way in broad market, and what the alternatives. And second option is I want to discuss you some specific solution and options to move further with this solutions with you if you will be interested. So let me just a little quick. Well, first of all, last time we discussed that, if I'm wrong, please just interrupt me and correct. If I remember correctly, we discussed that here is supplier in Europe. You want to buy some goods from this supplier. You want to get some credit limits. And in case there is some middleman that can organize and provide those credit limits, there might be some service fee or commission to provide those credit limits. Is that correct, or there is some misunderstanding? So credit,
Yes, but
yeah.
But last time I also clarified that it is supplier who has to pay the credit limit management fee to the insurance company, because we just approach the insurance company, we just provide the financials, and it is the supplier which has to show the interest to the insurance company that he is willing or ready to provide the credits to the this US company. But the credit insurance will provide the analysis to him, and at the end of the day they will come up with the debt limit, that particular limit that they will decide, which means the credit insurance company.
Okay. So in this transaction, I mean, there is trade credit insurance company, supplier, and you as buyer. And in this scheme, you get product with the net, how much? Net 30?
Yes, net 30,
Net th-
maximum net 30 with the European suppliers.
Okay. So you get products, you pay in 30 days, and the supplier just has the payment postponed by 30 days, let's say. If it works out, it's just regular deal, same as you have in US, right? If it doesn't work out,
Yes, but in US we do not have a we do not work with any insurance company because US suppliers directly provide the credit limits to the US companies.
okay. In case of in US, you pay nothing for this credit limit, right? So it's zero cost for
Yes.
you. It just
Suppliers
postponed.
are willing to provide free
Okay.
of cost credit limit.
Free of cost credit limit. So do you want same conditions, same terms for European EU, so that it should be free of charge for you?
Yes, it is the interest of every company to get this, but at the end of the day, you know that you come up with one answer from the European suppliers that they do not offer the credit limits to the non-European buyers or customers.
Yeah, I mean,
So
why I'm asking this, I just figured out at some of last conversation that I just thought that you are ready to pay some fee, and I didn't get why you just don't go to DLL and get that money from them and just pay down payment for like 2% of 2% fee per month, as you mentioned before, to DLL. Why you just don't get money and pay to supplier and get product and just have this cost of money 2% per month? Because I just thought that you told that you are ready to pay like 2 to 4% for this European Union deal. 3-4
yes, exactly.
2 to 4%. So I just didn't get this idea. You say we will pay you some commission if it happens, but on the other hand, you can just take money for those 2%, not 3-4, but just 2% from DLL and just give it to supplier as a down payment. So you just borrow money, give, receive product, no need to negotiate. So I just don't get why you're ready to pay commission, but you're not ready to take money and give it to supplier. So that was the concern.
Yes, as mentioned, that we also talked with the DLL regarding the European suppliers, but they didn't. They, even though they are operating in the US and the Europe, they didn't respond it well. They informed that it would take some time. So at that time, our management postponed this decision. So our management stress or even put in our target that we need to acquire the credit limits from the European suppliers at any cost. At any cost, without free of cost.
It should be free of cost for you.
This is our first target. If we are not getting it, if the supplier is very profitable in terms of margins, then we have to pay 2 to 3%. Even in these days, we are paying credit card fees of 2 to 3% while paying the European suppliers through credit card.
So I mean, sorry for like asking same questions again and again, but for me it's like super important to understand it 100% because to move on, we have to understand it like super clear. Is that correct that your objective is to get credit limit from European Union free of charge? Is that your objective? So you
Yes,
already
it is the first objective. If it is it doesn't work, as we have seen that it is not working.
I see.
So second option is to pursue any agency which is going to be as a middleman for European suppliers and between European suppliers and us.
And why you need it? I mean, if there is an option to get to pay by credit card and you have grace period 30, 40 days and cost 3%, there is a tool, right? Pay credit card.
We in credit cards we have also got a limit of 50,000. Some credits have a credit card have a 50,000. Maximum we have got 100,000 limit
So here
in
you
our
just,
one of the
okay, you have like a ceiling, you reach the limit
Yes.
and you just cannot extend it, right?
Exactly.
Could you please repeat how much is like standard, limit per month?
For the credit cards.
Yep.
It depends on the company's investment, because one of the companies has got 2 million investment, and the maximum credit card it has limit of $100,000. And there are other cards, but they are not worth more than $50,000.
50, 100, okay. And the cost is, how much is it?
It depends on the suppliers. Some suppliers, for example, uh, before we are paying them, they mention that credit card we will charge 3% or 4% credit card charges. So I haven't got laptop at this time. Otherwise, we have prepared the list of the suppliers which are charging different fees. Some have got 2%, 3%. Generally, European suppliers charge this much fee, but US suppliers do not charge more than 1%.
Okay. And that's the limit is per month, right? I mean, 50,000.
Yes, exactly.
And how much you need? I mean, what would be like ideal limit if credit card would be a solution?
200,000 per credit card.
And how much credit cards you would need?
At least current, if we see the current purchasing trend, we have got this month $800,000 of
So it's
target
like,
to achieve, and to achieve target to achieve. In other words, we have to in this month, out of $3 million purchases, we have to purchase $800,000 using credit cards.
okay. And the rest is credit limits and set, I mean, 800,000 if the limit was, so you use like multiple cards, right?
Yes, multiple cards. We have got Chase card and
Citi? No?
no, we don't have a Citi. We have a Wells Fargo bank, so we have Wells Fargo's card as well.
And okay, and Chase, right?
Yes, yes.
All right. So regarding credit card, just to sum up, there is a limit issue and there is cost issue. Which is more sensitive for you, like limitation of limit, or it's just costly, or both? So how you feel about it?
I think it is a limit issue, and some of I haven't mentioned one of the things. One of the there are many suppliers which do not accept the credit card payments, which is also a threat. We do not know. They say that we do not have such a e-commerce portal which accepts the credit card payments. So we have also got this this limitation.
How it actually happens? I mean, there is like supplier, you have a limit, 50K, 30K, quite a big amount of order value, and you negotiate payment. You say, okay, we're gonna pay by credit card, and they say, no, we're not gonna sell you. We don't accept. Take it or leave it. Or is it negotiable, or is just no go if you want to pay by credit card?
Yes, we generally, if this is the case, in this situation, if the supplier doesn't accept, we have to come up with the funds.
Hmm.
Come up with the funds. As you know that we cannot transfer the credit card funds to the bank, so we have to wait the Amazon payouts. Generally, you know that Amazon doesn't give you the payments in a bulk. You have to wait. You have to wait um, before your payment is completely realized in your account. Then you can request the payment, but you cannot request the payment in a bulk. So you can partially extract your receivable from Amazon. Then we generally delay the payment to 2 to 3 days. Once the payment arrives from Amazon, we pay through the SCH or wire transfer to this supplier,
I mean,
which doesn't accept the credit card.
Okay, so when you negotiate payment with credit card, they can say just no, we don't accept. Either pay by ACH or just don't buy.
Wire transfer.
I mean, okay.
Yes,
I mean,
exactly.
but why they are so sensitive to this credit card payment? Why it's kind of not preferable payment method for them?
We haven't explored this option, but some of the one of the supplier provided the reason that that they do not have an e-commerce portal which accept the credit card payments.
They just
They
don't.
do not have a system like this.
Is that the only reason? I mean, there is just no payment gate, or how it's called, acquiring, so that you enter credentials and it just goes. Is that the only just technical reason they don't
Yes,
have Stripe?
we
Whatever.
generally we are making credit card payments through two options. One of the option is through phone call. We generally call the representative of the supplier, and he provides the detail. We enter our details, and that's it. Payment
Okay.
is done.
I see. Well, okay, that option is clear. Thanks for giving details. Just to roll back a bit so that we move forward. I still don't get that thing. There is like credit card which has limits, but it costs 3% per transaction. But downside is you have limits.
Yes.
3% is huge. That's what you have to pay, right?
I think we generally look at the margins, so 3% doesn't matter for us. But as you know that the credit card has also got monthly fees and plus these per transaction fees. So these somehow they are manageable, and they are okay as long as they are meeting our margin criteria.
I see. What I don't understand still, could you please just give a bit more details? There is like DLL or few other, let's call it money suppliers, companies, lending companies, right? Who can assess your company, like credibility, and lend you some money, either like, okay, in credit card you have limitation, but they have maybe broader limitations, maybe like 100, 200, 300, half million, million, or whatever. They see your revenue, etc. So, and they lend you money, like DLL does 2% per month, which is quite a lot. 24 per month, 24% per year. But still less than credit card takes. So 2% is fine for you, since 3% is not, it's not a problem. 2% is even better, and no limits. So you take this lending money, just pay ACH, wire transfer, get product, and that's it. I mean, no negotiation, no credit limit. Cost is fine, limit is fine. You just then return this money out of your revenue from Amazon back to DLL or whatever is lending companies. Seems to be like working scheme, but why there is still a need to negotiate, to get rejections, etc. Why there is a need in credit limit if you just can take money and pay, and cost is fine and no limits. Just don't get this.
As mentioned earlier, we are working with the DLL on a European side. We haven't worked with them. They only identify us in the US market.
Mhm.
They haven't assessed our. Yes, please.
But if you work with DLL, let's say, that's just an example. I mean, if you work in DLL in US, do they kind of lend you money? Let's say $500,000 here is in your bank account, paid back in once, million plus 20K fee. So you get this, I don't like 1 million or 100.
No. No, generally you just provide them their the financial documents of supplier or the amount which is due, which means invoices.
Mhm.
You provide them with the invoices. They have a list of suppliers. They generally last time I think I shared the list which DLL has got,
Mhm.
which means they can offer the credit limit with these suppliers only.
Mhm.
They cannot entertain the credit limit other than these suppliers. So they have also got a specific list. So as I last time informed you that we observed that list and we analyzed the active suppliers which were in that list, and we were also working with them. So we directly approached the suppliers and acquire the credit limit from them rather than choosing the DLL list.
I see. Well, actually, last time for some reason it didn't work out with sharing the list. I mean, we didn't have a chance to take a look at it. We make the
So
attempt.
I'll share the DLL list of suppliers.
Cool.
They were huge multi-tier distributors
I mean,
in the world.
great. I mean, thanks a lot. We have to like go through it and make some assumption. I mean, why I'm asking those questions, just to clarify. We try to talk to other company. Well, what we need to understand if this problem kind of common. It's not just one company's problem. There is a market for this problem. I mean, there is like multiple companies, market segments. The need is pretty much same. That's what we are looking for. If there is such situation, we go forward with a product, with solution, with some offer. And when we go to discover if it's like that or not, we hear that, guys, we just can lend money and pay with some interest in it. The cost is fine. That's why no problem. We just take money, pay, get products. And I'm assuming, okay, that's one issue we hear. And there is an issue in your case, which for some reason it's not working like that in your company. So the question is, why do you think it's not an option just to take lending money for like 1.5%, 2% per month and use this leverage to just down pay European companies by ACH, convert to euro, get products, and pay back to lending company?
So I think this this is a really tough option for our company to use leverage. Why? Because we have got a Muslim investor. So Muslim investors do not like the interest. So
Mhm.
they are willing to work with any credit insurance company for fees, but fees like credit card charges we are paying on a payment dates are okay enough, which are binding with the principles, Islamic principles, and
Mhm.
and direct interest is really not working here. Direct leverage is not working here. Here
Mhm.
we can use, for example, we can provide the invoices through a third party. They can pay and they can charge the service charges of uh, uh, that payment. That's okay enough, but direct loan or lending is not feasible for this company.
I'm in general aware of that Islamic finance principle. I mean, my wife is Muslim. That's why I pretty much aware of general principles. But what is interesting for me is, would you say that that's the main reason why direct leverage, direct lending is not a tool? I mean, if we take 10 companies similar to yours, and three of them would be like following Islamic finance principles, and 7 of them not. The problem we are discussing is concerning just those 3, right?
Yes, we have got 7 companies, so our 7 companies do not go for the direct leverage option.
But the reason behind is the only reason is that principle of
Yes,
Islamic finance.
Islamic finance.
And let's say there is another company which doesn't follow. I mean, it just, company where just, I don't like, guys from other religion work. They would just, what would they do? Would they,
I think they would be using over bank overdraft facility. The banks also provide bank overdraft facilities and charge some fees.
I see. That's actually important to understand that, there is some specific detail behind it, specific need to follow on. All right. Just a sec. Let me go further with my questions. I mean, now it's clear why one guy say that there is like a bunch of tools to get leverage, and you look for some specific option with the
Yes.
credit limits. All right, now I get it. In your case, now it's clear that you need a middleman to negotiate credit limits. You have a list of suppliers to provide those you want to buy from. We would like to go further with attempt to get those credit limits, but to understand what the constraints to get it, we need to talk to suppliers. So we assume that there is kind of risk versus profit issue. So the risk is quite high for European suppliers. They see the risk, they don't see the profit, and we need to change it back. I mean, we need to make risk less than profit. How to make it? We did some research and found out that it may be like additional insurance company, some local legal entity with a purchase history, some smaller transactions on down payment, or smaller, let's say, some scheme of transactions, let's say first small transactions on down payment to create first connection and trust. Second, transactions with less check to have an experience of providing you credit limits and build some credibility, and like gradually increasing this credit limit. That might be just one construction, because we talked to a few suppliers in Europe and understood that it's 100% like old school business with the trust in the core of business. So they just work with those guys who they trust to. So there should be some option to create a trust. The 99%, we have to create some legal entity in the country you want to buy from.
Yes.
And follow some, there is like a checklist we have to follow to get it. To understand what points should be included, we need to talk to them. So the proposition, the offer to you, if you connect with like 3, 5, 10 suppliers, or just provide contacts and help us to talk to them to have this negotiation specifically on your case and prepare us to this negotiation. So say what you need, give some details, profile of those suppliers, then contacts, maybe even introduce us to them, saying that we have, either partners in Europe or guys responsible for connecting. Please talk, and we talk, we connect, we talk, we negotiate options, we discover what stops them, what they're afraid of, how it could be covered by insurance, by legal entity, by creating trust, by references, by bank guarantee, by a bunch of other tools possible. We may find some scheme that is sustainable and can be applied for next supplier. But yeah, that the first step would be negotiation. So the question is that possible? You to connect us to your potential supplier that don't provide it so far, and we can talk and
Yes,
find.
it is possible. I think we can also organize a Zoom meeting here. But it will be possible around next week, because we will have a holidays, 3 to 4 days holidays. After that, we can, I think, meet next Friday with any, we will bring our major supplier from Europe here.
That would be great. We need to find like multiple, maybe like 3 to 5. If it's Italy, it would be better, since it's simpler for us. We have a representative there.
So our major purchases are also from Italy.
Yeah, you
So
mentioned that, and that's also the reason, and we have a good representative to support this conversation also. That's why that would work.
So I will also have to bring my team lead and manager in this meeting as well. And also we have got a supplier relations team. So they also maintain relations. So finance team maintains credit limits, they maintain relations. So we also have to bring this team in this meeting as well. So I will have an internal meeting with my manager first, and then I'll schedule the meeting with the supplier.
I'm afraid that it would just wouldn't help, but would rather kind of confuse people, because we do discovery interview. We don't have a solution yet. We need to talk to a company, like to representative, to owner, to business people, maybe several times, to find out what the reason behind it.